Do you feel like nowadays that CGI may be taking away this kind of art form from movies?
Well,
Especially with AI and all that.
yeah, I mean, I could say not that it's taking it away like forever, right? I could say sometimes it's sad to see things that could have been done practically, right, with makeup effects, done with CG, especially if the CG didn't deliver. You know what I mean? So it's like, for instance, let's say you had a perfect like machine that would cook everything to perfection, right? And you loved chicken Alfredo, and it made chicken Alfredo, and it's the best chicken Alfredo you've ever had. Well, then I can't blame you for going back to the machine next time you want chicken Alfredo, right?
Right.
But if you go and you say, I want a hamburger, and the hamburger gives you is not that great, it's like, well, my uncle does like carne asada, barbecues, and his burgers are way better, you know? You'll probably wish you had your uncle's burger instead of that one.
Right.
So that's how I feel. If I see on a movie that somebody's using CGI successfully, like as a marriage maybe sometimes between practical and the computer-generated effects, then I'm like, hey, that worked really good. But if it's not as good as the human being version, then I'm like saddened by it because I'm like, well, you could have just gone the old-fashioned way and it would have been way better.
Yeah.
So I don't think that it's going to take it away ever, because the same thing happened, you know, I mean, a long, long time ago, right? There weren't cameras, and so people wanted a portrait, they'd hire a painter to paint them a portrait. Then cameras came around, and they're like, well, who's going to need portrait painters anymore? But they're still around now, you know? Radio came, and it's like, well, who needs to go to a show on Broadway when you could just hear it at home, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, there were still shows on Broadway, and there's still radio even though television came around, and there's still television even though internet came around. So I don't think it's ever going to get rid of it completely, but it is sad to see when it's used unnecessarily, and it doesn't even do as good of a job as a normal person could have.